Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today I am back with another video. I know it's been like a month since I last uploaded, but we'll talk all about that in my next video in a get ready with me or something, because today I had to sit down and film because I'm doing a first impression with the Glaminatrix Glamorous Palette. This palette was sent to me in PR, so thank you so much Glaminatrix for sending this over to me. They didn't pay me to make this video, I'm not sponsored or anything. I just wanted to share this and I am so excited. This actually gave me like the motivation to like sit down and like film because Glaminatrix, if you don't know, are an Australian indie brand based in Queensland and they are my favourite brand, I think. They're one of my favourite brands. I absolutely adore them. The colour stories they come out with are incredible. Their formula immaculate. Their mattes are just so blendable and easy and to work with and all of that good stuff. Their shimmers, mwah, beautiful. Anyways, so this is their latest palette and it looks like this. As you can see, it's that faux leather with the name like etched in and it is so lovely. It is the same packaging as their Nocturnal palette. Let me grab that for you. It's the same kind of material, however Nocturnal has rounded corners whereas this has like pointy corners, if you can see, but they are the same size and like same material. I feel like they did mention that like they're switching up the manufacturers for this kind of like faux leather packaging, and this one does feel a lot more higher quality than this one. Like this one still feels like good quality, I'd say. I bloody love Nocturnal, probably my favorite palette, but this one, the actual like, you know, the insert and everything, much better quality. Okay, I've been waffling on about the packaging for too long, but this is what the inside looks like. It is a jewel-toned dream. Now, I always say that Nocturnal is my perfect autumn palette, like my perfect grunge palette, and I stand by that. It is my baby, my absolute baby. But this one, Glamorous, this looks like the perfect winter palette to me. Like these kind of tones I reach for a ton during winter time, like the teals, the purples, and I'm so excited. The color story looks so beautiful and I have not swatched this yet, so we're gonna start off with swatching it and then we're gonna be doing a look with it. I'm so excited, I haven't used it yet, so I'm so excited. This first shade is called Twinkle and it is a pale yellow with a green and blue flash to it. I haven't filmed in a very long time, so forgive me if things are a bit rusty, but that is Twinkle on the finger there. It's got quite a nice pale yellow base. I really like shades like this. They tend to make me really happy. And this is Twinkle on the back of my hand. I will be swatching these on the back of my hand with no primer, and I will be building up the swatches just so you can see them a bit better. And oh, that is so pretty. I am a wench for any shade that has like a green flash to it. And actually, I said that I had a blue shift to it and I am incorrect. It actually shifts from like green to like a bronzy gold, like a peach. No. It shifts from a green to peach. You can see the shift kind of right there, that like peachy tone, and then the green with the pale yellow base. The yellow base isn't super strong, but that is so pretty. I don't think I have a shade that shifts from green to peach. I actually don't think I do. So this bitch is unique. The next shade is the shade called Regal, and this is a blue-toned purple. Now I'm very curious to see how the purple mattes perform in this palette because I know that Glaminatrix in the Nocturnal palette there is like a dark purple called Witching Hour, and I found that that one was a little bit hard to work with. Like you did have to baby it a little bit more. But Jesus, this pigment on Regal is beautiful. That is so saturated. I really like that so far. So let's swatch that out. Ooh, look at that. I do get concerned, especially, like I said, with purples, but especially with blue-toned purples. Like cooler toned purples are a lot harder to get down. I mean, I say that, I don't think this is a cool tone purple now that I'm looking at it. It's more neutral. It's more of a neutral purple. It's very saturated, swatched out. I'm curious to see how that's gonna perform. Maybe I'll use that shade today. We shall see. And it did stain my fingy a little bit. but that's to be expected of all purples, to be fair. Rightio, this next shade is called Belle, and this is a kind of like murky green with a like bronze and green shift to it. Kind of like those like green-brown duochromes that we saw a lot of in the early 2000s. Early 2000s? It was more mid-2000s, wasn't it? I don't remember. Ooh, that looks so pretty on the finger. That is, yeah, your classic green-brown duochrome. Oh my gosh, camera, please, please behave. And that is Belle swatched out. That is a stunning duochrome. It's not as shiny as I would like it to be. Like, it does have shine to it, but like, I expect from Glaminatrix to have things be extremely, like, intense and sparkly, so this one I'm like, but it's okay. And also, like, this color is a very different color to the palette. Like, I feel like out of all the shades in here, that's the color that, like, sticks out to me that, like, doesn't quite fit. I mean, maybe when I play around with this palette more, like, I will figure out how to use it, but on first glance, I'm like, how the hell am I gonna incorporate that into other looks? But yeah, that is the first 3 shades swatched out. So we have Twinkle, Regal, and Belle. The next shade we have is Luxe, and this is a teal matte. Again, teal shades are fairly difficult to formulate in my experience, but that, I barely swirled my finger in. That is Luxe swatched out. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious me, that is, oh, she's smooth, she pigmented. The penultimate shade in this row is Generous, and this shade, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's like a pewter type shade. I'm probably using pewter completely incorrectly, but to me, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's like a bit of a metal. That's a metal. I love the Nearly Natural palette from Glaminatrix so much. It's one of my favorite palettes in my collection. Like, it's definitely like in the second spot or some shit. It's amazing. And it's full of shades like this, so the fact that they included another one of these kind of tones in this palette makes me really happy, because I'm like, I fucking love it. So that is Generous swatched out. That doesn't even need like a second layer. Oh, that is so foiled and so like, I'm smoothing it out. There's so, look, Jesus! Whoa! Like, it looks like liquid metal on my hand. Oh, that's gonna be one of my favorite shades. I'ma say it right now. Final shade in the first row is Tempting, and this is a burgundy matte. And this shade actually matches the outside of it perfectly, which is so satisfying to me. Again, anything red toned is difficult to formulate. It's like reds and purples, like matte especially, but also shimmers too, but especially matte shades are very hard to make right. Same with teal shades, so like, I'm curious to see how this is going to perform, but like, look at that on my fingy. Look at that. Ooh, that is nice. So that is Tempting on the hand. Ooh. We'll do another layer of it just to build it up a bit. But that is really, really smooth. Like, the first swatch didn't, like, looked a little bit patchy, but now that I've smoothed it out, it's so... That is nice. That's a lovely cranberry shade. Actually, this trio would be a really good look. Like a good, like, holiday themed look. You're gonna have to deal with me stained hand for the rest of the video. I'm sorry. I don't know what this accent is. Okay, the next shade is this one right here called Sweetly, and this is very similar to Tempting. It's more purple toned, it's more of like a magenta shade, whereas that's more of a cranberry shade. Be curious to see if they are that different next to each other. Like, using them together, I feel like there's not too much of a difference, but the undertone is there. So that is Sweetly on the finger. Anytime I see the word like sweet, or like sweetie, or like sweetly, I think of that meme of like, it's called Fashion Sweaty, look it up. So this is Sweetly swatched out. It's definitely more magenta compared to the Tempting shade, but I feel like if you mixed Regal and Tempting together, you would get this shade. So I don't know if this was super necessary in the palette, but it's nice. It's a nice smooth matte. This next shade, I can tell ya, is gonna be one of my favorites in this palette, and it's this one right here called Dreamy. It is a purple shimmer with like, it has like a bit of green in it, a bit of gold. Anything with a gold shift, I'm a slag for. I'm a big slag for gold shifts. And this shade, oh, oh my goodness. Look at that on the finger. It has like that warm purple shift to it as well. So that is dreamy. Oh my god. Yes. That is so sparkly. So sparkly. And duochromy? Like, are you kidding me? Look at that. The shine on that is mad, and I get so annoyed that you can't see any of it. Hang on, if I put on my flash, look at that. Look at that. Are you serious? Ugh. So gorgeous. The next shade is this shade called Style, and this is kind of like a seafoam matte. Every time I see the word style, I think of that Taylor Swift song. You got that James Dean daydream look in your eye, and I got that red lip classic thing that you like, and when we come crashing down, we come back every time. I need to stop singing Style and actually swatch this, but that is a lovely... Again, this trio is like a really nice trio altogether. I love that. Style is such a pretty matte. It's like more pastel-y, but I feel like this could be a really nice blending shade, especially with the shade Luxe as well. So that is the next row all swatched out for you. And then we're moving on to the last set of swatches, and then we can do a look. I'm so excited to do the look. Radio, this next shade right here is called Opulence, and this is a seafoamy minty green. This shade jumps out at me because I love greens, especially green shades like this. They just make my heart sing. So, oh, look at that. Look, that is so like pastel-y and pretty. It looks like alien slime. I love it. Apologies for the stained hand, but that right there is Opulence. And I'll build up that swatch. That is really pretty. Ooh. I'll do the flashlight thing as well so you can see. It's the same formula as Twinkle, so it's not like, it's kind of that more like soft sparkle. It's a bit softer. Put the torch on just so you can see. Look at, oh, magical. And as well with the word opulence, I just think of that one RuPaul's Drag Race meme where Mercedes Iman Diamond is going, opulence, you earn everything. The penultimate shade in this palette is Package, and this is a almost pastel purple. I think compared to the other shades in this palette, like along with Style, it's more of those like bright, almost pastel shades, but not quite pastel. So this is Package right here. And I will build that up. Very smooth, very, whoa, very lovely. My hand looks so screwed right now. And the final shade in this palette is this shade called Curls, and this is, I would say it's like a charcoal color with a bit of a red undertone. It's not quite, it looks black on camera, but it is like more of a charcoal color that is very pigmented on the finger and swatched out. Jesus, that is one pigmented boy. I find that Glaminatrix's deep mattes especially are so rich, and I love that about them. And just look at that. To deepen up a look, or as a liner, oh, perfect. And yeah, so first impression of the swatches, I'm really excited to see how these work on the eyes. They seem like your typical Glaminatrix formula, and I will say that due to this palette having a lot of like purples and those kind of tones, they do stain. I'll update in editing right here if they ended up staining my eyes, and staining for me is not that big of a deal because like I don't really care, to be honest. But I know that it can be a deal breaker for some of y'all, and it is important to keep in mind, but I'll let you know if they do stain, because I'm pretty sure they do. First up, we are just going to be priming my eyes with all reliable Milani eyeshadow primer and not setting it. And yeah, there are so many shades in this palette that I want to use, but I need to contain myself because I don't want to end up yeeting everything on and then it being a bit of a mess. So I'm feeling like using some of the cranberry shades today, maybe with the shade Opulence, that like green on the inner corner, and like the purple like shimmery shade Dreamy on the lid. I think that would be really, really nice. So yeah, I'm first gonna dip into the shade Tempting right here and just yeet that on my eyes. I'm gonna be using a fairly fluffy brush and tapping off the excess, and boy, that's, oh shit, that's pigmented. I barely tapped my brush in there, oh my god. Okay, okay. I see you, Glaminatrix, I'm just gonna slowly try and build this up because I don't want to like pack on too many colours in one go. I also forgot to pluck my eyebrows, so my brow hairs might affect my blending, so I'm sorry. I was gonna do it before this video, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. Sometimes I just don't feel like plucking my brows, you know? But that shade is absolutely stunning. It blends out really nicely. Almost, it blends out to like a pinky shade, which I do expect. But that's kind of good because it almost like, you know, I don't need to use a transition shade. It's like it creates its own transition shade, which I bloody love it. And I'm gonna take Tempting again on the same brush and I'm just gonna like squish it down like this to kind of create a fan brush. And I'm just gonna run that on my outer portion of the lower lash line. I want to keep this part open because I think I want to put the matte shade Style, that like seafoam shade there, just so I can squeeze in more shades. Okay, I really love how that looks. It also looks a bit dodgy, just my face right now with just this eye done. But now we're going to go into the shade Curls right here, and I'm going to take that on a pencil brush and I'm going to slowly like put this in the outer V. And I say slowly because I just don't want to put on too much product and then it overtake that Tempting shade, because I do want to keep this look very cranberry. I don't want this shade to overtake it. So we're just keeping it really tight in the outer corner. I made a playlist, right? Okay, this is so not related, but I made a playlist called the Chaos Playlist, where it was just a bunch of like meme songs and songs that are like just, that give chaos vibes to me. And I made it as a joke. It's not a joke anymore. I listen to that playlist so, like, every day. It's my most played playlist, and it's got some hit songs like Katy Perry, like from Katy Perry, and like Minecraft parodies and Helicopter, Helicopter. Like it's a stupid playlist, but it's really fun. And I've got California Girl stuck in my head. That shade Curls, look at how beautifully that deepened it up. It does look more black on my eye, like now that it's on, but I don't really mind. It really does. I think because it has that red undertone to it. Most blacks have a black undertone? No, most black shades have a blue undertone to it, and if this one had a blue undertone, it just would not mesh nicely. But because it does have that warm like undertone to it, it blends with that cranberry shade so nicely. Oh. Stunning. I love this. And now I'm going to take a little bit of Fairy Pixie Epoxy. You can also use NYX Glitter Glue if you have that instead. And I use Pixie Epoxy with every single look that I do when I use shimmers. So I always use it in first impressions as well because it's the way that I normally apply my makeup. And I tried to keep my application as close to how I normally apply stuff as possible. So we're going to be taking a little bit of Pixie Epoxy on my finger, And I'm just gonna tap that on my lid. We're not being really precise with it. We just want a tacky base for the shinies. Gonna let that get tacky for a little bit, and then we're gonna dip into the shade Dreamy. I'm thinking about putting this shade on the majority of my lid and then the shade Generous on the inner portion of my lid. I think that would look really, really pretty. And I'm gonna actually apply Dreamy with my fingy, because I do like applying shimmers with my finger. So oh, that is... Bro. Oh my gosh. That is layering so beautifully. And that is so pretty. Bruh. Oh my gosh. Hello. Hi, nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. What you... I love it. Radio. Now I'm going to take the shade Generous and I'm going to put that on the inner portion of my lid. I'm going to try and not put this on the inner corner because I want to put that Opulence shade there. So we just want to kind of plop this on and layer it. And this does have a bit of like a silver flash to it. So I think it'll blend with the Dreamy shade quite nicely. I just like using multiple shades on my lid to give a bit more dimension, and oh, that combo. I feel like this is giving like I married a rich man and then he mysteriously passed away and I inherited all his money vibes. It's giving, it's serving that. Rightio, and because I want to be a little bit chaotic, I'm gonna place the shade Style on the inner portion of my lower lash line. I love doing this when I want to include as many shades as possible. Just gonna stamp that there. Hopefully I can actually be in frame. That would be quite handy actually. And I'm being careful when I am meeting that with the tempting shade. So I don't want them to like mix together too much and like muddy. But oh yes, I absolutely love where this look is going. And now to finish things up, I'm gonna put the shade Opulence on my inner corners. Oh gosh, this looks brilliant. I haven't worn tones like this in so long, and I'm gonna need to wear them more. So we're gonna yeet Opulence right there. And we'll just keep it on the inner corner. We won't drag it in further or anything. Keep it right on that inner corner. I really like this look a lot. Oh my goodness. So real quick, I'm just gonna do the other eye off camera, my lashes, eye pencil, and lips, and I'll be back to give you a bit more information about the palette and wrap up my initial thoughts. So this is the completed look. If you're curious about what I used for my eye pencil, I used the Odens Eye Solmon Gel Liner in the shade 4. I hate that these just have numbers and not the actual names of the shades written on them, but this is shade 4. It's a lovely little seafoam colour. And for my lips, I'm using the Kaleidos lip clay in the shade Bear. So this is what the completed look looks like. I am so in love. I feel like a festive little cranberry, like winter little baby. I love it. I think it looks so stunning. All of the shades performed beautifully. The mattes were absolutely incredible to work with. Didn't really have to work with them that hard at all. The shimmers, I mean, oh, I am in love with this look. Okay, so this palette from Glaminatrix retails for £47.50, or it retails for 85 Australian dollars or 56 US dollars. Now that doesn't include shipping or anything like that, and I know that shipping from Australia is quite expensive. That's kind of, you know, a given. So for me, if I didn't get this palette in PR, I'm telling you right now, I'm a low-key collector of Glaminatrix's palettes, so I definitely would have purchased this because this color story is just so pretty and I feel like kind of unique to my collection. I don't really have anything quite like it. First impression though, the formula is beautiful, like the mattes, the same Glaminatrix matte formula that we all know and love, love, love. The shimmers in here are great, and Glaminatrix has actually stated that this palette has 4 duochromes, 1 high impact shimmer, and 7 mattes. So I believe the High Impact Shimmer is, let me actually hold this palette normally, first of all. I believe the High Impact Shimmer is Generous, the rest of the shades are duochromes, and the mattes, obviously, are mattes. I like the color story in here, I like the array of matte and shimmers, and I feel like I used quite a lot of shades on my eyes today. I used 6 shades on my eyes today, and I think this look came out really cohesive and beautiful. When I first saw this palette, I was like, it's stunning, don't get me wrong, but I was a little bit intimidated by like, how can I make things cohesive? But honestly, like, I think honestly this shade was just throwing me off. Like, once I cover up that shade, it makes a lot more sense in my brain. So I, so far, really enjoy this palette a lot. I will be doing a 2 looks plus review with it once I use it a little bit more. I'm not too sure when that's coming because life's a bit chaotic right now, and I will be doing a duping video with this palette if you're curious to see any dupes that I might have in my collection or anything comparable. I will say right off the bat, just by looking at it, and I don't own this palette, but it looks a lot like the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. I'll put a picture of it right here, but I feel like that palette and this palette, please focus camera, I feel like those two palettes have, camera focus, I feel like this palette and Age of Opulence have a lot of similarities, like the same kind of tones, and I feel like Beauty Bay also came out with, was it Book of Magic? It kind of gives me vibes of that. Now, I don't own those two palettes, I can't say for definite if they are dupes, but if you own those palettes and you were thinking about buying this one, then maybe this wouldn't add anything that new to your collection. But yeah, that's a little summary of my thoughts so far. I'm so happy that I have this. I actually love it even more now that I have it. And yeah, so with all of that said and done, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, have you tried this palette? Is it on your wish list? What are your thoughts of the color story? I'd like to know. If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, then you can follow me on my Instagram. It's beautyybyskye right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. And if you'd like to support me further, I do have my own small business, Rain Cloud Candles Co. We are a small queer-owned business based in the UK and we make handmade candles. The link to shop will be down below along with our social media if you'd like to support us. And especially with the Christmas season coming up, our candles and wax melts make very good gifts. Just saying. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.